Fake Goodwin here, and eventually we will like, subscribe, share, help promote, and rank up my channel, all that good stuff. So, there's something going on with animation where it's being racially segregated, animation domination. I was going to do a video on this first before my previous video, but I did do it, and it was just laggy and messy, and I could fix it. So, with all this said, so Jenny Slate quit her Netflix role on Big Mouth, citing animated characters' race. Jenny Slate, who voices Missy in Netflix's Big Mouth series, announced she's quitting the role because of the character is biracial. And she said because her mom is Jewish and white, she thought it was a good idea to play the part. But she has since rethought it pretty much. Is all the characters black and biracial and should be played by a black person. And that's pretty much what you get there. You can go into her bigger overall statement. I have come to a decision today that I can no longer play the character of Missy on the animated TV show Big Mouth. At the start of the show, I reasoned with myself that it was permissible for me to play Missy because her mom is Jewish and white, as I am. But Missy is also black, and black characters on an animated show should be played by black people. It's not about, it is not about the talent or whatever. Like they cite all the time in live action, oh, this person was hired because their capability of the role or whatever, because we should hire people, we hired based on talent, not race or whatever. They always use this as an excuse in live action when it comes to race changing characters. But here in animation, we're facing some real segregation from Family Guy, Simpsons, and even Central Park, and this show right here, Big Mouth. And then you have a comment from the BoJack Horseman actress. But I'm going to get into all that in just a second. Let's go ahead and point out this stupidity. I acknowledge how my original reasoning was flawed, that it existed as an example of white privilege. Sure, it's white privilege. It's white privilege that black people are being given roles and everything, and crying that they're not. Like I did this big video talking about 300 plus black artists were calling on Hollywood and everything to give them more roles and stuff like that, because it's not good enough. No, they need to be handed everything because white privilege exists. They're being handed everything, but for nothing but white privilege exists. I grew up in all black neighborhoods, okay? I know that white privilege does not exist. Unjust alliances made within a system of societal white supremacy, and that in me playing Missy, I was engaging in an act of erasure of black people. Complete garbage, complete and utter nonsense. We're gonna get over here to the Simpsons and Family Guy one. But Christian Bell too. It was either Christian Bell or the other girl that started these dominoes tipping over. They're just gonna ruin animation. If you want to argue that black people should only voice black characters, then okay. Then when it comes to live action, white actors should only play white characters. So that's my argument there. If you want to go in on this, we'll go all in on it, but it's a two-way street, man. So Christian Bell will no longer voice the character of Molly Tillerman, a mixed-race character with a black father and white mother on Apple's upcoming TV series, Central Park series. So this one won't really negatively impact anybody, really, as she hasn't even really started. From what I understand, this show hasn't really started, so there won't be some kind of cognitive dissonance in whoever replaces her voice, because you won't be so familiar with it that it's just like off and you can recognize it, and it ruins it for you. The way you will be with a lot of the Simpson cast are, if somebody else voices Cleveland, there may not be somebody to accurately reflect the skill and talent of the voice actors over there. So he added, But then we couldn't make Molly white, and we couldn't make Christian mixed race, so we just had to go forward. And then we arrived there and said, well, we got to just keep doing the best we can to balance it, to turn around and give it. So this is voice. This like when it comes to voice acting, it is one of the most anti-racist things you can do. Anybody can play anybody, and there's no focus on race there, as there shouldn't be, because they're portraying fictional characters, and you can't see the person playing that character. But now it's like this black person's got to be played by a black person, and I'm sure they're not going to say that this white person's got to be played by a white person. They're never going to say that. But basically, they arrived at the same conclusion, which is complete and utter garbage. But if you want to go in that direction, then you can't be a hypocrite, and you can't be transparently just God. So, black people and people of color have worked and will continue to work on Central Park, but we can do better. We're committed to creating opportunities for people of color. Yes, they're going to give you everything for nothing, stuff you didn't earn, based on your skin color. Tell me that isn't privilege. Tell me that isn't privilege. Who's got the privilege? But we get over here to Family Guy. Family Guy's Mike Henry to stop voicing Cleveland Brown. Family Guy veteran Mike Henry announced that after 20 years, he will no longer be voicing the character of Cleveland Brown. After voicing the character since the show's first season in 1999, Family Guy veteran voice actor Mike Henry announced today that he will no longer be playing the character of Cleveland Brown. It's been an honor to play Cleveland Brown on Family Guy for 20 years, Henry wrote on Twitter. I love this character, but persons of color should play characters of color. Therefore, I will be stepping down for the role. And a lot of them are just doing this so they don't get canceled and they have their whole entire careers ruined. I'm curious to see if they're actually going to try to replace the voice of Cleveland Brown with somebody else, and if it's going to line up right, or if it's going to feel so off that they just have to push the character into the background or kill them off, or what's the deal there? Because you're going to have to do that with some of these Simpson characters. Simpsons is going to have to get a new large cast, unless they find some really, really talented, skilled voice actors that are minorities, because Dr. Hibbert has to be voiced by a black person, even though you don't see him. In addition to Family Guy, Henry also voiced both Cleveland and his stepson, Rollo Tubbs, I believe I pronounced that right, on the character's short-lived spin-off, The Cleveland Show. And you know what, I'm just done reading that article. I think it's pretty despicable that all this has to happen. But if we're going to do this, if we're going to embrace this, then let's embrace doing this with the live action too. And so in the latest instance, this one's The Simpsons, in the latest instance of the animated show striving for inclusion casting, The Simpsons will no longer have white actors voicing characters of color. Yeah, they got Apu's gone. I don't know what's going on with that character there, if he has a voice on the show, or if they use old clips, or what the deal is. The Simpsons has, because this show's just not popular anymore, it's past its height of popularity a long time ago. And this is definitely gonna end The Simpsons. This definitely will lead to the death of The Simpsons. You should just go ahead and cancel The Simpsons right now, before all these characters just never speak again, or get killed off, or I don't know what's going to happen. Are they going to introduce new characters, kill off old ones? What's going to happen there? Are they going to try to cast voice actors who aren't going to be able to pull off their voices, and then it's just going to seem weird and incredibly different because the show's been on forever and these have been the voice actors forever? So The Simpsons has become the latest animated TV show to announce it will no longer have characters of color voiced by white actors. Yes, racial segregation for animation domination. Pure The Hollywood reported The Simpsons team issued a statement on the matter. Moving forward, The Simpsons will no longer have white characters voice non-white characters, it reads. But what about black people? Are they going to be able to voice white characters? Are minorities going to be able to voice white characters? The Simpsons has made. And what about Bart Simpson? Isn't Bart Simpson voiced by a woman? Yes, I remember. So, what are we going to gender segregate too, or is this just for racial segregation? The Simpsons has made heavy use of casting white actors as non-white characters in its third 31 season run, which seems to be partially due to the fact that certain voice actors on the show play a large number of characters. The most famous example of this was Hank Azaria, voicing the Indian American character of Apu before stepping away from the role earlier this year. Further instances include Azaria voicing characters like Carl Carlson, Lou, and Bumblebee Man, while Harry Shearer has voiced the character of Dr. Hibbert. The Simpsons is one of numerous animated TV shows to recently announce that characters of color would no longer be voiced by white actors. For example, Family Guy's Mark Henry announced he would no longer be voicing the character of Cleveland Brown. Meanwhile, Central Park and Big Mouth, all this stuff is just getting woke. Really, society is becoming just garbage. The entertainment industry can't stop virtual signaling hard. Twitter can't stop canceling people, and everything is just completely ridiculous. At what point does this stop? How far does it go? It's going to continue to happen, and we'll see where it ends. But it's going to get worse. And I'm just curious, is there a stopping point? Is there something to fix all this? Is there something that's going to walk it all back? And you even have other people, voice actors, trying to virtue signal. Like BoJack Horseman, Alison Brie regrets voicing Asian American character. And that sounds racist to me, to say, oh, I regretted voicing that damn Asian, that dirty Asian character. Tell me these people aren't racist. Tell me some of these people aren't racist. But with all this, so BoJack actor Alison Brie has expressed regret over having accepted the role of Vietnamese American character Diane Nguyen. In light of recent controversy with regard to voice actors performing the voice for non-white characters, Alison Brie has expressed regret for accepting the role. I just think that this is stupid. I now understand that people of color should always voice people of color. See, we missed a great opportunity to represent Vietnamese American community accurately and respectfully, and for that I am truly sorry. I applaud all those who stepped away from their voiceover roles in recent days. Yes, their voiceover roles where they're not seen, but in live action, meanwhile, we're race changing everybody because diversity matters. But over here in animation, people are just quitting left and right and virtue signaling hard as possible. Leave your thoughts and opinions below. Comment down on this situation. Let me know what you think of it. Let me know what you think of all this garbage. South Park's probably going to be the only one standing when all the smoke clears. So, like, subscribe, share. If a good one here, eventually we will, but it doesn't look like that's going to be anytime soon. Stay awesome. Rock on.